to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. I'm very excited today. We have two guests, Vangile Makwakwa from South Africa, but I can say that she's a global citizen, so she'll explain to you later. And I have Matthew, based in South Africa as well. And Matthew has some exciting things to tell us about his system on how to get leads on LinkedIn without spending any money. So I'm your host today. My name is Mireille Tulekima. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started this show at the beginning of the year, so this is episode 4. And so I do a lot of things, but the most important thing is that I started the Greatness Engineering movement, and this show is in line with this movement, which mission is actually to make sure that individuals and organizations actually take control of their own result and own destiny and become the best that they can be. So welcome to whoever is watching from all over the world. I'm based in Perth, and so it's evening here, so it's good evening for me, and good afternoon, I suppose, in South Africa, and for Vangile, it's probably good evening as well in Sri Lanka. So I just want to ask you both to just introduce yourself and tell us what you do and how you make an impact in your own environment. So I'll start with Vangile. So tell us everything about what you do.
Everything about what I do. Okay. So my name is Vangile, and I am the author of Heart, Mind, and Money, but I'm also a coach. And I also run Wealthy Money Academy. So what I do at Wealthy Money Academy and running as a founder of Wealthy Money and the Property Magicians podcast, I have a co-host. Her name is Mizo, whom you know, Michal. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is, in a nutshell, I help women unlock their inner money guru so they can fall in love with their bank accounts, heal their ancestral money stories, and live their best lives. And I do this through coaching, through my online courses, and through my international retreats. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Oh, thank you. We're going to come back to you anyway, because I think you're doing something that a lot of people don't understand. And so it's going to be very interesting to explain to us how, you connect the brain and the spirit with all the material thing that we manifest through money. So Matthew, what about you? Tell us all about what you do. I know you do a lot of things as well. So
I'm actually, that was a good one to follow, Vangile. Lovely to listen to what you do. I keep things simple. I help entrepreneurs get 2 to 5 high value leads per day from LinkedIn without paying for ads. So we run an international organizations. In the past 2 years, we've helped almost 1,000 businesses grow using our Rainmaker system in 16 countries. We welcomed someone in from Israel the other night. Wow. And our big focus is that, we've got a mission to help 5,000 businesses double in the next 5 years. So we're a fifth of the way there. And it's really challenged our way in thinking of, instead of just delivering an online training program, but how do we actually help people get results in a real way? And not just have a program that gets put out there. So, thinking differently and having a bigger vision about how you deliver your services. So we teach people how to get leads, number one, but then we also teach people how to sell, because it's no good getting leads if you can't close them, right? Yeah. And it doesn't translate into money. How to implement systems in the business so you can put in a machine without everything relying on you. And then we also just get stuck in and do it for people if they need it.
Okay, all right. So very unconventional things, that we actually don't learn, at school or anywhere. So I just want to know, and that's the question is asked to both of you. How did you actually find this niche? what actually led you to do what you do, because I mean it's something completely unconventional that you probably never heard of before. So what was, you know, the experience that led you to follow this path?
After you,
okay, so
ladies first, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Matthew. So how I ended up doing this work was through my own life experience. I studied finance actually at UCT because I wanted to have money. That was the only thing, right? I was like, I want to be able to live a life where I chill out and somehow I have money. So I didn't know how that connected. I thought, oh, invest of engineers and nurses and lawyers. So I had seen that actually all the traditional careers don't lead to money, right? So I knew that a job doesn't equate you being okay financially. So I thought the only way to get financially free is to go study. Got out, got a proper job in Cape Town, and was like, oh my goodness, this is worse. Like, I'm doing worse than my parents and my family, than anyone has ever done, right? So most of my parents are in branches of medicine. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing worse than they did, because I always looked at doctors and all those people, and I had no delusions. I was like, oh yeah, those people don't have money. So then I decided I'm going to leave. I'm going to go traveling. I'm going to earn pounds and US dollars. And that will definitely change my life, because exchange rates will work in my favor. So I went, I did that, and I found myself living on credit card debt. Then one day I'm sitting on the beach in Tobago. I just gone back. I was on my way to Trinidad. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go do an MBA now. I've traveled, I've done the Bahamas, I've done like the Czech Republic, all this.
Wow.
Let me go and get an MBA. Let me go get an MBA, because now I'm heavily in debt from traveling and living this lifestyle. And obviously a master's will help me change my life, right? If I get an MBA on top of the finance, on the finance degree, I'll be employable and I'll have an incredible job, blah, 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 you know? And I'll make money. So I go, I get an MBA. I somehow managed to get accepted into a great MBA program in the US, do that, come out, and I was hit by depression like I'd never been hit before. I couldn't do anything, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't do anything, half suicidal. Nothing that I had envisioned was going the way that it was going. My finances took an entire dive, and I was absolutely struggling. My relationships were in tatters. I wasn't speaking to my family. The only way that I thought I could get out of this was to end it all, like just end my life. And somehow I decided, and then one day I had a panic attack on the way to withdraw money from the bank. Mind you, I had money in the bank, but every time I managed money, I felt anxious, and I never ever saw that I had money in the bank, right? And at this point, I was $60,000 in debt, living on credit card, like taking out a credit card to pay another credit card. Between that and my master's and my loans from the MBA program, it was crazy. So then that day when I had the panic attack, I remember very clearly, it was at Haymarket in Boston. I sat on the side of the road, and I just thought to myself, this cannot be my life. And I made a decision. I said, there's one thing that I know for sure. The problem isn't practical. It's not financial, right? It's not intellect. Sorry, it's not financial. It's not about intellect. It's something more, because I'd always gotten straight A's, even in varsity, which is crazy.
So you really don't expect, because you basically had like a very,
MBA program for everything. So intellect, financial world, the money world. Yeah, it's right. And I was very clear and honest with myself.
We're losing her.
Yep.
I had the best lecturers. I had the so I said, okay, I'm going to eliminate everything. Whatever I've learned, I'm going to unlearn. Which was, I said, I'm going to unlearn every single thing that I've been taught at varsity, at university, in my master's program. Everything that I've been taught about money, I'm chucking it out the window, and I'm going from scratch. And what haven't I been taught about money? The link between the body and money, because I was struggling. My health had also gone downhill. I'd stopped digesting food. Everything was falling apart. I had a tailbone pain, and they were telling me that I may need to operate to get rid of the base of my tailbone. I knew it was all related to money. I just couldn't prove it. And I was completely depressed, but I also knew that my depression and my suicidal ideation and all that was linked to money. You know, it was so, I'm like, it was deeper, but it was all about the money for me. So then I just decided to do all the work. I read up on behavioral finance. I went and I dug up everything, which is how I ended up writing money. I reference a bunch of behavioral finance thesis for every theory that I have, you know? So then I decided to basically heal myself. I was like, I'm not going to use traditional Western medicine to heal my body, to heal my digestion, any of that. I am going to heal myself and heal my money, a story at the same time. And it became all about going back into understanding my ancestral money stories. I went to meditation. I took up I changed the way that I inspire people. Started seeing shifts, and I wrote shifts, and then it became a career. But I never meant to do this as a career. It was just, or even as a business, it was just for me to heal. Right? Okay. It was just about me healing, and so this is how I came to do the work.
Wow, that's amazing. I'll come back to you because I have a few questions to understand a little bit more the process. Just want to know, Matthew, what was, your journey to I mean, that leads you to what you do right now. So we understand from where you started and then how you managed to scale whatever you do today.
Yeah, so I come from a background of door-to-door sales and, doing door-to-door sales in the UK, in South Africa, working really hard, absolutely loving it, making lots of money, but I wanted something different. I built up a big organization. I had 60 staff members, had 2 business partners, offices around the country. And really, I wanted a different lifestyle because I was working so damn hard and I wanted that laptop lifestyle, be able to work from anywhere. Turns out you work from absolutely everywhere. And quite honestly, sitting with your laptop on the beach is shit. Like you want to have cocktails and enjoy the sunshine,
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to work if I'm sitting on the beach, right?
So, must have been very difficult to focus.
I don't want to do that. If you like that, that's cool. I want to have cocktails and enjoy the sunshine. So I got into online marketing and we started building out sales funnels, and I went down the road of becoming a Facebook ads partner and Google partner and marketing automation, email automation. And really what happened was that I found myself working ridiculously long hours, like from 6 a.m. until 2 a.m. the next day. And I was like, this doesn't even make sense. I'm working harder than I did before. I was hating what I was doing 2 years in and not even earning the same amount of money. And I wanted something different. And we decided to run an event. It kind of like happened almost by chance, really. It was like divine intervention,
Yeah.
We decided we were going to run an event where we're going to do what we call a lunch and learn. Invite some people over, feed them and teach them some stuff, and then make an offer at the end of it. Google wasn't working for us. Facebook wasn't working for us.
Wow.
And we went to LinkedIn. And somehow, we did everything wrong. Okay. We did absolutely everything wrong. And somehow we managed to 20 people in a room over 2 days.
Whoa, that's good for a first one.
It gets better, right? Because what happened was that after the 2 days, we made an offer. And we had 40% of the people, so 8 out of 20 people enrolled for programs at $7,500 and above. Right? So we made $60,000 in 2 days, and we were like, that's not bad. There's something here. And so we started using LinkedIn for ourselves. And what we realized was that going through this, you know, if we wanted to grow this, if we wanted to scale this, we actually couldn't be doing it one-on-one for ourselves. We couldn't be doing it one-on-one for our clients. So we decided, how can we create scale and leverage? And what we did was we actually built an online platform for it. And we created an online platform, and then we were now able to share it with the world. And in actual fact, how the whole thing came about that we went into LinkedIn was I asked a question on a group. We'd just been to a massive event in LA, and I asked a question into a group, and we were sitting in the US with like 3,000 Rand in our bank account, and we're freaking out. You know, we'd taken our eye off the ball, and we're like, I don't know how we're going to eat or pay for accommodation. I don't know how the hell we're going to do any of that stuff. It was scary, man. And, but, you know, we've got a saying, like, you know, if you're facing tough times, you can either cry about it or you can do something about it. And when I told my fiance that, she was like, well, listen, I'm a girl, so I'm going to cry about it first, and then I'm going to do something about it. I was like, okay.
All the stress, that's not a bad strategy, actually. Just expel all the stress, and then, you know,
I was like, okay,
I
can
like
get
that strategy.
Yep. I was like, I can get that. I can deal with that. I can live with that. As long as we're doing something about it, you know? And so, you know, we did. And what happened was that we did a post out onto this group. And I said, guys, I'm busy creating an online course. I'm going to give it for free to the first few people, and then I'm going to charge for it later. I want you to choose one. I've got 3 options. I want you to choose one. Option 1 was how to get leads from Facebook. Option 2 was how to implement systems to grow your business without everything relying on you. And option 3 was how to get leads from LinkedIn. But we had over 245 comments on that post. It generated $70,000 in a week, and boom, the LinkedIn Rainmaker system was born.
Wow, that's fantastic, isn't it? And I like, you know, those stories, because it's actually, you know, you go through, you know, deep into, you know, your challenges, and in a way, you find a way to surface back and do something even better. And that's why I wanted to ask you, I mean, if you have something to tell to an entrepreneur, what are the key things, you know, because all of as an entrepreneur, you always go through those low moments. So what would you tell them, you know, what would you recommend them to do when they are those, you know, those problems, to actually be able to manage their situation or even get out of it?
Yeah, and that's a great question, you know, and there's tons of things that you can do, but really the simplest thing, if you backed into a corner and if you don't know what it is that you're selling or how you're going to get out and people aren't buying your product and your mindset's not there, the simplest strategy, and it's a strategy that we used, ask people what they want help with the most and then give it to them. You know, and then focus on that one thing and just go all in on that one thing. You know, Tony Robbins, I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins. We actually just came back from Singapore. I took my whole team, right? I took my whole team to go see Unleash the Power Within, and we did fire walking. It was amazing. And one of the things that he says is that if you want, but people, when they've got a choice to either die or succeed, they tend to succeed. But most people give themselves a way out, and that's why they don't have they don't get what they want. So if you're in a situation where your back is up against the wall, right, you've got to choose one thing. Ask people what they've got the biggest problem with. Choose that one thing, solve that one thing, do it again and again and again and again and again, and just focus down on one thing. Because most entrepreneurs, the reason they get into that position is they're trying to do everything all at the same time. Exactly. Because it sounds great. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Well, so I'm going to just not swear a little bit. I swear a lot. I love swearing, but I'm going to keep it clean. Okay. I promise. You know, most people are trying to do too much, and it sounds fancy to be a serial entrepreneur, but well, how do you help me solve my problem? I don't know how to work with you if you're a serial. You need leads. If your big problem in your business right now is that you need more leads and more sales, the Rainmaker system is for you.
Yeah. So that's, and I think that's what we need to reiterate to entrepreneurs, is that you need it's entrepreneurship is about solving problems. So you need to know, you know, where you can add value, and you talked about it, asking people where they need help, and focus on one thing, which is a niche. You choose this niche and you focus on that. And if you have to, you know, if you need something else, and you can delegate or ask somebody else or collaborate with somebody else who can do it better than you. So, Vangile, one question that I have, you know, because the notion of money is really sometimes put in a simplistic way. So how did, you know, for your experience, how did you manage to find, you know, this connection between money and emotional intelligence? Because that's not something that we know. I mean, you normally look at money as something material, and you don't really think about something that you kind of, you know, generate from the inside out. So what do you think about all of this? How can you explain it to us?
Yeah, so how did for me, it became, I guess, from my own experience, right? One of the things that I started to realize is that money is an emotional topic. Like when I was working on my own, when I was working through my own trauma, one of the things that I had to work on was to trace back and go back. Like I would go back into my past and observe how my family had talked stories of how families discuss money. I started looking at feeling into the energy behind the stories. So one of the things that I had to start doing was I started working on understanding. So my work over the years has actually evolved beyond emotional intelligence, because one of the questions I started to ask was, why do we even feel the emotions that we feel? It's great that we have these emotions, but why do we feel the emotions we feel? Why do we think the thoughts that we think? And a lot of it is that it's inherited. Some of it is passed down. Like I incorporated a lot of my own personal beliefs of, well, if you look into past lives and assume that the soul is eternal, then we come here with stories already embedded in us from different life experiences. We tap into the collective conscience that we can all feel from a young age. When a family is discussing money, we can sense, even if your mom is like smiling and going, oh darling, it's okay, we'll find the money. You have the ability to sense energy in that moment, especially young kids. They can sense the emotion behind the words. So it became about understanding how those emotions and that energy of the emotions would then be felt in the body.
So basically what you're saying is that money is basically, in a sense, it's energy. And then this energy that
how would I hold on to inside?
Yeah, and so you also saying that it can be generated, is it? Or maybe I don't get it really well. Hello?
Not just that. Money is energy, no doubt. But the way that we interact with money and energy, and to interact with that energy impacts everything. So even if I'm smiling, even if our parents were not fighting about money, or it seems like it's an incident that is unrelated to money, we take those underlying tones where money is involved as a conversation, as a dealing in the family, as anything, you are tapping into that and you're sensing those emotions at a very deep subconscious level. It's not conscious. So imagine as a child, mom and dad are having a discussion about money. It's completely calm. There is no, you can sense that there's anxiety. They're just remaining calm for you, but they have underlying anxieties. As a child, you can sense that, you know? So every time money is brought up, there's this underlying anxiety and you don't even understand where it's coming from, but you are taking it in. So your subconscious mind starts to connect any conversation or anything to do with money with anxiety. Right? At the surface level, it would be like, oh, but my parents or my family never had any issues with money. Yeah, but what were you sensing? Right? And that emotion of anxiety is what's going to impact your financial decisions. Because when we feel anxious about money, we're going to have a whole different emotional reaction, because anxiety as an emotion has two outcomes usually, is that we either go into fight or flight. Right, when it comes to money. So but the thing is that in the Stone Age, we used to feel anxious for a reason. So we would like feel anxious or scared about the tiger, and we would either run and fight the tiger. You can't fight money. Money is zeros, ones, twos on a computer screen. So how do we behave with money when we feel anxious in this day and age? We either run and hide, ignore it, ignore our bank accounts, ignore looking at our credit cards, ignore the debt collectors, never learn about investments, none of that. And then it shows up in our financial behavior. So at the surface level, you're like, oh, but I'm always excited and happy about money. No, because the end result is showing something else. So then what I do is we get back into the emotional state around money. Then we go into the body to see where you're holding those emotions. And wherever you're holding those emotions in the body, we kind of extract what memories are tied to that emotion, because we store our memories in our bodies. And sometimes those memories are not even our own. Those memories are ancestral, you know, and a lot of them are just stored in our bodies. And it's not just me saying that, it's that there is a study of something just went loud on here. So it's the study of epigenetics inheritance that shows that actually memories are passed on from one generation to the next. They've done tons of studies around this with Holocaust survivors, with Vietnam vets, with slavery. So what makes us think that memories around money are not passed on from one generation to the next? So it's about healing those memories so that we start to heal our emotional reaction to money and how we interact with money. Money as energy is then a whole separate topic, which I also work on and talk about. But healing the energy of money without healing the underlying traumas that accompany money is, I don't understand that, you know? It makes no sense, because at the end of the day, you are always going to be the one that is managing your money, dealing with your money.
So are you successful actually to convince people that with those techniques, you can actually heal them and then make them, you know, a better manager of money? Because it's kind of a difficult concept to, to understand. So I'm very curious to know, you know, the success rate, or how, you know.
When I
because it's very, very, very
when I started, for sure, people thought, and now because my work is intellectual about it. Like when we do the guided meditations, when I coach people, everyone has their own unique experience and they get to understand it in their own unique manner. So at first, people were like, what the hell is she talking about, I guess. But then I started running the Fall in Love with Your Bank Account challenge, right? And the first time I did the challenge, I had 400 people sign up, and I think it was out of curiosity. And people signed up, and I just said, this is the work. I did only 1% of the work that I did, and people understood. They really got it. They feel into their bodies. They see the memories. They see the thoughts. There is nothing high tech. You don't have to be trained in meditation or any of that. My work is very thing is that it unearths a lot of trauma. So it is often very painful. I'm not gonna lie. The process of healing is painful, right? So people started to see that, and now, like, I'm running the bank account challenge again in October. So this was 2 years ago when I started the challenge, running it again now starting October 20th. So far this morning we had 690 people registered for the challenge. So I'm hoping to get 1,500 people. I didn't do tons of advertising for the challenge. What happened is people are telling other people about the work because they have seen the shift themselves and they've understood it themselves. So I don't think that with healing, it needs to be intellectual, that I need to be fully involved in the process. No, all I do is I provide the tools and I tell people do it, and they see it. And the crazy thing is people experience huge shifts. I'm talking about income doubled in a space of 6 months, saving, buying houses, all sorts of things. Like, I mean, people's lives ridiculously change, which is why they call each other even for my free challenge. And I think it's just from just putting it as practically as this, you know?
Okay.
So, I feel like it may sound complex.
No, but because I think, and it comes down again to the conditioning that we have when we're young, either conditioning from our social environment or parenting or conditioning from school, because those are not things that we learn at school. At school, they tell you get a job and then you have to work hard and that's how you make money. So there's no, they don't tie all the emotional part of things into it. So it's a very new concept, and it can be weird for some people. And so it's really interesting. Mark, I mean, just wanted to understand the process in your system, because what I saw is that you were saying, I mean, you're saying that you can actually generate leads without spending any money. Because we see that now, I mean, a lot of those platforms are actually encouraging people to, to pay, to generate leads, to access, to grow, not, because organically it becomes very difficult. So now you have to basically pay. So how do you, with your system, overcome that?
Yeah, so really I took the mindset of door-to-door sales, and I said, well, how can I take what I learned there and apply it online in a scalable way? And what I started doing on LinkedIn was virtually knocking doors, okay? And I found that I was able to, knock 20 doors a day, and I would start having 1 or 2 conversations and set up some meetings and then convert them into paying customers, and then, move that up to 60 doors a day. And I was having, bringing on 5 to 10 new clients a week. And really it's a 3-step process, okay? Which is build, educate, and promote. So in the build stage, we go deep into your ideal client. So instead of trying to focus on everyone, we focus on the one that is going to give you the most traction, right? The one that you need to focus on. The second thing from there, and we go deep into that, and we understand who your ideal client is. And then you need to create the message that moves them to buy, what we call the pickup line, okay? So it's like, instead of having a cheesier pickup line, you want to have something that's irresistible. So as an example, but when it's like that question, when people ask you, what do you do? Most people say, I'm in real estate, or I'm in lead generation, or I'm an entrepreneur, or whatever it is. But what does that actually mean? So like my pickup line, when people ask me what I do, is I help entrepreneurs get 2 to 5 high value leads per day from LinkedIn without paying for ads. Sexy, right?
Is it all clear for everybody? And they're like, okay, we don't ask you more questions. Or they're like, what the hell is that?
Well, the question that comes after that is like, how do we get that? How do I get that?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So once you've got your pickup line, then you're going to dive deep into your LinkedIn profile and actually do a makeover. Because most people's LinkedIn profiles are written as CVs. You know, it's all about them.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing to also, you know, and it's good that you mentioned it here, because we all go into those platforms, but we have no process and no education. And, you know, you start things and then you realize, oh, it's not working. And then you start to blame the platform and you start to become very negative. But yet, like everything, there's a process. And it's good that, you know, we have people like you who can actually come and, you know, deliver a process, and it makes things really, really simple for people. Because I've seen people who are frustrated because they tell you, yes, but we were told that LinkedIn is a professional platform, but we don't make, you know, we don't actually, you know, connect with people there. We don't do business with anybody. It's just, you know, you connect and then nothing is happening. So it's really important to have those, you know, those processes, to know about those processes. And so one question is,
well, it's because they teach all of.
Go ahead.
I was saying that they teach us all of this stuff in entrepreneurship school, don't they?
Exactly, and
there's just nothing out there.
Because before I got into entrepreneurship and before understanding that it was about you know, solving problems, I always heard about it's about passion, you know, and then your freedom. And at the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about the value that you bring to solve problems, you know, and help.
And then in order to solve those problems, you need to understand sales. You need to understand marketing. You need to understand people, processes. And you need to learn how to put systems in place, because that's how you get the time. That's how you get the freedom. That's how you get the money without everything relying on you.
So you need to do a lot of work up front that we're not aware of when we start in, I mean, when we study entrepreneurship. It's sometimes because you spend so much time in corporate, you say, okay, I'm going to get my freedom. I'm going to be my own boss. And then you realize, oh, it's,
and it doesn't come with a manual.
I'm not going anywhere.
And they don't. I know, and they don't give us a manual either when you start either.
Exactly, yes. So everybody has its own journey. So, I mean, through your journey, I mean, what would be the top, your top, you know, success tip that you would recommend to anybody? I mean, based on your journey, based on what you went through. I mean, 2 or 3 tips that you think are very essential and have been really driving, you know, your success. What are those? Yeah.
So it depends on what level people are at. Okay, if you're just starting out, if you're in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, the best thing that I could say to you is focus on one thing and do it really well, and do it again and again and again. You know, too often entrepreneurs get this shiny object syndrome where, oh, there's like, I want this and I want this, and that also looks good, and let's try to do some of that. You know, and you'll end up doing everything without focus and not really making money. And also, as entrepreneurs, we're creative, so we get bored quickly, right? So instead of jumping to the next thing, take that one thing, do it really well, and do it in another country, do it in another city, do it in another country, expand outwards with your one thing, right? Then if you're a growing business, the best advice I would give is invest in systems. You've got to build systems into your business. Use technology, find the right people, put the processes in place so that you can grow and scale without everything relying on you. Okay. And the third thing is that if you're already successful and you're doing well, make sure that you invest so that your money can work without you working for it.
Yeah, fantastic. What about you, Vangile? What are your top success tips that you think are really, you know, really help you to get where you are?
One, just be emotionally aware of how you're feeling, because your emotional state will impact everything. It will impact your productivity, it will relationship, you know. I think we don't talk a lot about how important it is to be surrounded by people who are already where you want to be at, right? Because those are the people and be able to help you. And that also includes having like coaches. I feel like part of why my growth has happened so fast in recent years has been because I've had a tribe, and I've also had coaches who have walked the journey before me. So when I work with them, it's so much faster. I'm not reinventing the wheel. They are teaching me, or they can actually, a lot of the times it's mindset coaches, so they can see where my mindset is not 100%, where I'm getting stuck in my thinking. So I'm not able to innovate or break out. And the third one, I also agree with Matthew. Like, I think part of why I am able to travel and work from the beach, which I do love, right, is systems, having the right systems and being able to utilize technology. Like, with you, a great tribe, but also like the systems that can handle everything, so that you're not always having to do the same. Like, there's nothing as annoying. When I started out, I used to repeat the same actions over and over and over again, until I was like, wait, there's a lot of things that technology can take care of this. I can have systems that take care of this. So yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, we're getting into the end of the show. And so I just wanted to ask you, I mean, to tell us where, I mean, people, especially people who want to continue the conversation with you, where they can, how they can contact you, and if there's something that, you know, do you have any event coming or something that you want to, you know, to talk about to them? Matthew.
After you. Yeah. You want to go to me first?
Yeah.
So people can reach out to me at The Virtual Edge, www.thevirtualedge.com. And our contact information is there, and go and download the free guide. So we've got some pretty cool free stuff that you can go and download. But also you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Matt Clark SA. So go to LinkedIn, type Matt Clark SA, and you'll see me there. Come and connect with me. It's where I'm at, right? Obviously.
I would say if you're not on LinkedIn, it's a bit suspicious, but that's fine. You confirm that you are on LinkedIn.
Find me on LinkedIn. I'm there, right? That's what we do.
But you're also an author, so you've wrote a few books. So where can we find your books?
So I've published the books on Amazon. So you can find the books on Amazon, and I'll share some of those with you in an email. But you know, I wrote those books for a very specific purpose that doesn't actually serve what we're doing right now. We're busy writing, you know, I've actually got some Amazon bestsellers as well, but you know, they don't serve what I'm doing right now. It was for our previous venture. But we're busy writing a pretty comprehensive book on LinkedIn that I'm pretty excited to share. So as soon as that's done, I'll let you know when we're ready to do that, Muriel.
Fantastic. I'm really, you know, curious to know when you're going to have it out, and I'll probably, because I'm really following you. So Vangile, where can we find you? I know you're everywhere, so I don't know how they can find you, but please tell us.
So I'm everywhere virtually as well. So that often Facebook. So if you're listening to this on Facebook, just add me as a friend, or go to Wealthy Money Magicians on the page. We have a public Facebook group, pretty awesome. But you can also join 1,500 people sign up for the fun challenge. So please join me. wealthy-money.com /challenge. Again, wealthy-money.com. Facebook for hashtag bank account challenge. Search on Twitter, search on Instagram for hashtag bank account challenge. And I'm pretty.
Okay, thank you both. It's been an exciting hour, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to reach out to you to know a little bit more, because these are really not, not the common thing that we see or hear, people do. So it's been really great. Thanks for your time, and thanks for being on the show, and have a great evening.
Thank you for having us.
Great afternoon and great evening for Vangile. Take care. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye now. Bye, Matthew.